Welcome to a journey into the heart of global affairs, where we unravel the intricate connections between conflict, politics, and the mighty US dollar. Today, we explore the perfect storm that has led to the fall of this once dominant currency. Buckle up as we dive into the impact of wars, geopolitical tensions, and economic policies, all contributing to a shifting financial world order. The conflict between Ukraine and Russia has resulted in widespread devastation and far-reaching consequences that extend beyond the borders of the warring nations. On the global stage, the impact of this conflict has been profound, particularly in terms of economic stability and geopolitical relations. The United States, in coordination with its allies, has implemented a series of comprehensive sanctions against Russia, targeting their financial infrastructure and prominent individuals closely linked to the Russian government. These sanctions are designed to exert economic pressure on Russia and isolate it from the international financial system. While these measures are intended to hold Russia accountable for its actions, they also carry potential repercussions. As of 2023, the United States has pledged substantial military aid to Ukraine, with estimates surpassing $54 billion. This substantial allocation of taxpayer money has been directed towards supporting Ukraine's defense against Russian aggression. Naturally, such massive spending has significant implications for the U.S. economy, and it is not without economic fallout. The cost of funding this military aid can influence the country's economic health, potentially affecting areas such as government spending, taxation, and public debt. Moreover, the magnitude of this spending has consequences for the value of the US dollar. As the US commits more financial resources to Ukraine, it can impact the strength of its currency in the global market. Currency values are influenced by various factors, including a country's economic performance, interest rates, and geopolitical stability. In this context, the United States' substantial military aid to Ukraine could potentially influence the perception of the U.S. economy and shape investor confidence, ultimately affecting the value of the dollar on the international stage. The conflict between Israel and Hamas, particularly the escalation in hostilities during specific periods, has indeed had economic repercussions, including for the United States. While the direct economic impact on the U.S. may be less pronounced compared to the Russia-Ukraine war, there are still significant costs and implications to consider. During the Israel-Hamas conflicts, the U.S. has historically provided substantial military aid to Israel. This aid includes financial assistance, weapons, and defense systems such as the Iron Dome. While the exact amount varies depending on the specific time frame and conflict, the U.S. has consistently been a major supporter of Israel's defense capabilities. The conflict between Israel and Hamas, and the intermittent flare-ups of hostilities, have undoubtedly had economic fallouts, not just for the regions immediately involved but also for the United States. While the direct economic repercussions on the U.S. may appear less severe compared to the Russia-Ukraine war, it is important to recognize that the Israel-Hamas conflict is far from economically insignificant, especially for American taxpayers and the economy at large. Hence, the financial burden of this conflict falls heavily on American taxpayers. The United States is a key ally of Israel and provides substantial military aid to the country. During periods of heightened tensions and military operations, this aid can increase, resulting in a substantial amount of taxpayer money being directed towards funding military campaigns and reconstruction efforts. The cost of this ongoing conflict is, therefore, shouldered by the American public, diverting funds that could otherwise be allocated to domestic priorities and development. Moreover, the economic implications extend beyond direct military aid. The instability and violence in the region can disrupt trade routes and impact global energy markets, affecting the U.S. economy. The conflict can also influence investment decisions, with investors potentially becoming more cautious about investing in the region, leading to missed economic opportunities and slower growth. The ripple effects of these disruptions can be felt across various sectors, from manufacturing to finance, highlighting the interconnectedness of our global economy. Additionally, the conflict can drive up defense industry costs. When tensions rise, there is often an increased demand for advanced weaponry and defense systems, not just in the Middle East but also globally, as countries seek to bolster their military capabilities. This heightened demand can lead to increased prices and a strain on resources, impacting the U.S. defense industry and, by extension, the overall economy. The long-term costs of maintaining a heightened state of military readiness and the potential diversion of resources from other areas of innovation and development should also be considered. The human and economic toll of this conflict is profound, with infrastructure damage, loss of life, and displacement of populations. The reconstruction and rehabilitation efforts that follow each escalation incur significant costs, often requiring international aid and support. This diverts resources away from other critical areas of development and poverty alleviation, impacting not just the immediate region but also the global community. Therefore, while the direct economic impact of the Israel-Hamas conflict on the U.S. may not be as immediately visible as the Russia-Ukraine war, it would be a mistake to underestimate its economic significance. The conflict has far-reaching implications, impacting taxpayers, trade, energy markets, and investment. Recognizing these interconnected economic impacts is crucial for understanding the broader consequences of this ongoing conflict and underscores the need for peaceful resolutions that benefit all parties involved. The economic impact of this support can be substantial. For example, during the 2021 Israel-Hamas conflict, it was estimated that the U.S. provided approximately $3.8 billion in annual military funding to Israel as part of a long-standing memorandum of understanding. This figure represents a significant allocation of U.S. taxpayer money, similar to the billions committed to Ukraine in recent times. The consequences of this spending can have similar effects on the U.S. economy. The substantial financial support for Israel's defense can impact government budgeting, deficit levels, and public debt. Additionally, as with any significant foreign aid commitment, there can be opportunities for U.S. defense contractors and arms manufacturers, creating economic activity within the U.S. defense industry. However, it is important to note that the specific economic implications for the U.S. during the Israel-Hamas conflicts are complex and multifaceted. The impact on the U.S. economy is influenced by various factors, including the broader context of the United States, Middle East relations, oil prices, and the involvement of other regional powers. Nonetheless, the billions of dollars allocated by the U.S. towards supporting Israel during these conflicts undoubtedly shape economic dynamics and contribute to the overall cost of these hostilities. The psychological effect of these wars on the U.S. psyche cannot be understated. The prolonged conflict and constant media coverage create a sense of uncertainty and anxiety. This, in turn, influences investor confidence and consumer behavior, potentially leading to a more cautious approach and further impacting the dollar's strength. Shifting our focus to the Middle East, the ongoing tensions between Israel and Hamas have far-reaching consequences. Beyond the human toll, the conflict disrupts oil supplies and contributes to price volatility. As the region grapples with instability, investors grow wary of riskier assets, including the US dollar. The psychological impact of prolonged Middle East conflicts on the global psyche cannot be overlooked, influencing market behavior and perceptions of stability. Turning inward, the policies enacted by the U.S. administration have also played a pivotal role in the weakening of the U.S. dollar. From trade tariffs and protectionist measures to the unprecedented monetary policies during the COVID-19 pandemic, these decisions have had global ripple effects. The massive stimulus packages, totaling trillions of dollars, raised concerns about inflation and the potential devaluation of the dollar. The psychological impact of these policies on the American public and global investors cannot be understated. The fall of the US dollar is a complex narrative shaped by global conflicts, political decisions, and shifting psychological perceptions. As billions of taxpayer dollars are spent on wars and economic stimulus, the impact on the US economy and the dollar's strength becomes increasingly intertwined with global events. Indeed, the US dollar's dominance faces challenges in a rapidly changing global landscape, and its narrative is intricately tied to geopolitical events and shifting perceptions. As we've witnessed, global conflicts and political decisions can significantly impact the dollar's strength and the perception of its stability. One significant development is the emergence of alternative currencies and financial systems. The Chinese currency yuan, for instance, is gradually gaining traction as China actively opens up its financial markets and promotes the international use of its currency. This challenge to the dollar's hegemony is notable, given China's economic might and its increasing integration into the global financial system. Additionally, the rise of BRICS and cryptocurrencies cannot be understated. Decentralized digital currencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum offer a borderless and decentralized alternative to traditional fiat currencies. The appeal of these cryptocurrencies, particularly among younger generations, underscores a shift in psychological preferences and a desire for financial autonomy. The growing acceptance and integration of cryptocurrencies into the global financial system could potentially erode the dominance of the US dollar over time. Furthermore, the establishment and development of alternative financial institutions and systems, such as the BRICS New Development Bank and the proposed BRICS payment system, have the potential to reduce the dominance of the US dollar. The BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, have collectively expressed their interest in creating a new global financial architecture that is less reliant on the dollar. While the direct impact on the dollar may not be immediate, these efforts signal a broader shift and a potential long-term challenge to the dollar's reserve currency status. In conclusion, the narrative of the US dollar's future is indeed complex and dynamic. The spending of billions of taxpayer dollars on international conflicts and economic stimulus packages influences the dollar's strength and the perception of the US economy. As we've explored, global events and the emergence of alternative currencies and financial systems contribute to a shifting landscape that challenges the dollar's primacy. Thank you for joining this insightful journey, and stay tuned as we continue to delve into the fascinating forces shaping our world and their implications for the future of finance and beyond.